My next upload for the 28th of April is with regard to the public opinion of circumstances surrounding human rights violations and the public opinion and verdict of culprits of offences violating a person's privacy, correspondence, livelihood and abode. I'd like to know the opinion of individuals with respect for civil society and democracy and human rights regarding circumstances of a culprit, a representative of a collective that has caused bodily harm and mental harm to a baby, intruding upon the mother of that baby, violating all laws and obstructing communication and correspondence with relevant agencies. I'd like to know the opinion of individuals with respect for cyber modalities and individuals intercepting and intruding upon online activity to obstruct relevant supports and assistance that would be required in a circumstance of violations. I'd like to know the opinion of individuals with regard to an adult distributing keys to a building for individuals to freely come and go through that building and to contact a humanitarian agency to defame an individual that they have no communication or contact or interaction with. I'd like to know the opinion of doctors and practitioners with regard to citizens of practices newly developed, not standardized, not lawful, not ethical, not consented to, that violate proximity, privacy, etc., and perpetrate bodily integrity harms on a human anatomy. I'd like to know the opinion of human beings that have respect for bodily integrity, that would not facilitate or respect other human beings accessing or acquiring any body particles of a human being that they are causing offense to the faith and religion and spirituality of. I'd like to know the opinion of adults in a situation that have overlooked the basic premise of a very big law when they have re-offended and re-offended, ignoring the principles and facets and aspects of the law that they are disrespecting and applying for their own purposes. I'd like to know the opinion of respectable human beings that have respect for people's matrimony, and those that don't have respect for matrimony, that pervert the privacy of a person that they have stolen from and slandered. I'd like to know the opinion of the regulatory bodies with regard to offences against the right to privacy, correspondence, abode, and respect for bodily integrity and faith, religion, and thought processes, all those human rights. I'd like to know the opinion of the ECHR with regard to these kind of offences in any situation, in any given day or time or moment. What is their opinion with regard to people of a collective, hate crime collective, conducting further offences as well as their on top of, and as well as their original offences, that they are evading the consequences of and exacerbating the consequences of. So there's a public opinion I'd appreciate with regard to these kind of situations, hypothetical. Obviously, a huge concern for humanitarianism. Obviously, a tactic employed that is applied in hate crime, and a tactic employed that is highly offensive to human life and human anatomy and human livelihoods. So there are positive politics and there are negative politics. Negative politics turns a blind eye. Positive politics repairs and solves and addresses. So is there positive or negative politics at play these days? As a humanitarian, I'm just very curious with regard to the basic premise of a very big law, a very big declaration that is being disrespected carelessly and senselessly. And I'm very concerned in particular with regard to the Hippocratic Oath and damages to bodily integrity and human anatomy, especially women's health. So that's just a food for thought upload with regard to the opinion and public verdict with regard to abuses against humanity and civil society due to collective vendettas of hate crime. Hate crime and mental illness are interlinked, are both relevant topics that I'm interested in exploring with the circumstances. So the prevalence of mental health illness in any vendetta of hate crime highlights a mentality process that isn't exactly socially friendly or behaviorally friendly. Positive behavior doesn't demonstrate slander. Positive behavior is problem solving and such. So I'm just really curious with regard to the mental thought processes in hate crime vendettas and acts of injustice, discrimination and equality.